So this is the updated Yixiang vertical mount battery. Now in the first version of this battery, you had to connect it to your system from the side, and it was a horrible design. But on this one, you connect it on the top, and you have these conduit holes on the side, which is so much better and what pretty much everybody else is doing. Next, they added more support for the cells with this metal shelf, because you'll notice that the cells are stacked on top of each other. And this is a 300-pound battery. So having all those cells pushing down on one of these while the cells are expanding and contracting could possibly hurt the terminals. And because of this, a lot of people, including myself, prefer the horizontal ones where the cells are sticking up vertically. That way you don't have this issue at all. But a lot of expensive and UL listed packs have this cell configuration, and a lot of cell manufacturers say that it's just fine. So I'll leave that up to you guys, but I prefer the horizontal ones. But it is nice that they actually support these cells, because if they didn't have this, think about how much weight is on the first cell. That is crazy. But this is an improvement. They should have done this from day one. Next, it's serviceable and simple. You have thick copper bus bars, all the balance leads are protected, and you have a fuse, a circuit breaker, and the BMS has overcurrent protection. So 3 layers of protection for overcurrent. And you can check the torque on any of these screws very easily, and if something were to break, you can swap it out in seconds. Next, I did some capacity testing. I did 3 tests. 62 and 95 amps, I got 323.9 amp hours. And at 50 amps, I got 324.2 amp hours. And these are 314 amp hour cells, so these results are typical. Now we're gonna do some more testing, but I wanna show you how I built it. So we're gonna do a quick video on that, and then at the end, we'll do some tests. Now we're connected to a 12,000 XP, we're charged up to 100%, and we're gonna discharge at the maximum rate. So we have an EV charger, and now we're charging with around 200 amps. So unfortunately, at the end of the test, I thought I was recording, but I wasn't. So let me tell you what happened. At the very end, right when it was about to end, I cranked up the current really high, and I got it up to 256 amps. And then after 38 seconds, it shut down. And I thought, cool, I got an overcurrent protection disconnect, but I didn't. The alarm said that I got an over temperature protection for the MOSFETs. And I thought, hey, why is the overcurrent protection not working? And it was because the discharge overcurrent protection delay was set to 300 seconds. And I found this issue in the 12 volt model, so it's also present in all the 48 volt models. So instead of 300 seconds, I set it to 10 seconds, and I did the test again. And then I got a proper overcurrent protection disconnect, and that's what you want. Having the BMS get so hot that it triggers an over temperature will stress the MOSFETs. And this should be set properly from the factory. I don't like this. It is better than the 12 volt, that one was atrocious, and when you reset the settings, it changed everything. On this one, it's better, but it still needs improvement. And if they include this BMS, they should have settings in the manual for you to use and to verify that you have the proper settings. Because if these things are wrong, your battery's not gonna work properly. Now the fuse and the breaker, we've already tested those, and they're really hard to trip. Those only trip if your BMS fails and there's a shorted FET. But for everything else, the BMS should catch it, and not with an over temperature disconnect. So yeah, settings were to blame again. Now there's 2 reasons why this battery is so cheap, and it sells a lot. This is a very popular battery. First off, it's not UL listed. Next, you have to build it yourself. So if you're trying to permit your system, or if you don't like DIY, it's not for you. Now if you're building off-grid and these things don't matter to you and you want good hardware, I think this battery fits the bill. The hardware is fantastic, but the software is lacking. And the BMS they're using, I like it. It performs well. but if you don't set the settings properly, you might have issues. Now, assembling the battery is easy, but I think the whole process of running this battery would be a lot easier if they had a default setting for each battery. And let's say you make a mistake and you want to reset to the default settings. It should be specific for that battery, so there's no problems. Because how it is right now, you can change any of the settings, which is totally fine if you know how to do it. But for people that just want to throw a battery together and fire it up, it should have the proper settings from the factory. Now, something to consider when designing your system is whether you want a vertical battery like this one, where you can put them along a wall, or if you want a horizontal battery stacked on top of each other, because those are a lot more compact. And with the horizontal ones, the cells are facing up, so there should be less stress on the terminals over time. Now, whether you choose vertical or horizontal, you should also lift them up, just in case water goes on the ground. Besides that, I can't really think of anything else to say. This is a very popular battery, and I have a whole thread on problems that people have reported. There are some problems where people got bad cells. They would be scratched up or dinged, and then they'd have to ship out new ones, and it would take a while to get the new cells. And then just the software complaints. That's about it. If you ever have a problem with this battery, please post it on the thread that we have for this battery. Or if you've had a bad experience, leave it in the comments section down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope this was a useful review, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.